So it's been a couple weeks now since the release of Black Ops 6 and this new iteration of zombies. Going into this, I was excited because it seemed like this mode was going to be the perfect combination of both Black Ops 3 and Cold War. Bringing in the gobblegums and adding some quality of life changes from Cold War must mean that BO6 would be almost perfect, right? Well, not quite. To start off with, let me say that this game mode is just fun. This iteration of zombies, in my opinion, is the best we've had since Black Ops 4, and by the end of the game's cycle next year, it may be even better. It really did take a lot of what made Cold War fun and upgrade it a bit while throwing in some things that made BO3 as iconic as it was. It's kinda deceiving because the game looks cool when watching the trailers, but when you actually start playing it, you'll see how addicting it really is. So to start off, I want to discuss some of the things I don't like because this game caught a bunch of heat before launch for a variety of reasons. To me, the biggest thing that I don't like in this mode is the new point system. When going through a round in BO6, you only get points for actually killing a zombie. Whether it be a body shot, headshot, or melee kill, once the zombie is destroyed, only then will you receive points. At first, this doesn't seem like a big deal, but it actually changes how you play zombies. For reference, before in BO3, you would receive points for each bullet that hit the zombies. So many people, including myself, would try to maximize the points you would receive each round by shooting the zombie so many times in the leg before knifing it. Do that for each zombie and you'd have a nice set of points to unlock the doors or buy weapons and perks within that specific round. However, now that this system has changed, this is no longer the case. What makes this even worse is now you have to sort of conserve your money for a while. Yes, it's easy to kill the zombies in the early rounds, but later on is when it starts to get tricky. For example, let's say you're doing the Terminus Easter egg and you have to do the Nathan Ball step for the first time. Well, you're probably not going to know what you're getting yourself into. By the time you start the fight, you may just start trying to kill him using maybe a tier 1 pack gun, and that's about it. And that's not enough, as you may find yourself running out of ammo. So what's the logical thing to do? Go buy more, right? Okay, well when you go to buy more, you may run out of points because you're trying to kill the boss, which is taking a while. Then knowing that you have to kill zombies to get more points, you try to kill those, but because you only receive points after the kill, you still run out of ammo trying to do that too. I hope you see where I'm going with this. It's almost like you have to think about how much money you'll have before doing every single step, because if you don't plan ahead, then there isn't a way to get more money fast unless you have a gobblegum or already have at least 2 tier packed weapons. But even with the packed weapons, those cost at least 2,500 each to refill the ammo, so this money issue still persists. I know that this point system is here to stay, but man do I wish they would go back to how it used to be. This new system really can change how a person plays this mode, but it is what it is, I guess. Now if you've been playing this game then you already know this, but the Abomination and Manglers both have returned. Unfortunately, there's issues with both. First off, the Manglers have always been a cool special zombie type, but it appearing again in BO6 is kinda like, okay, we've seen enough of these guys now. Knock it off. On top of that, once you get to around like 25 plus, they seem to just spawn over and over and over. And that's not an exaggeration. Even though these rounds aren't long, you will get lots of manglers spawning in between the zombies. But what makes them so annoying is that they shoot this beam that looks like a Kamehameha all the way from across the map. It doesn't matter if they're on top of a ledge or a whole football field's length away, the blast will track you and cause damage consistently. You have to literally move your entire body out of the way or else you're going to be getting hit at least partially. Thankfully, they're easy to take out as a whole slew of different weapons, including your knife, does tons of damage to these things, but man, they're still annoying to deal with. On the other hand, the Abominations are just as bad. I don't know why Treyarch decided to change them, but they are so much harder to kill than before, especially when you don't know which guns are the strongest to use. Of course, all you have to do is shoot them in the mouth when it's open, but the light that glows in each mouth likes to move from one head to the next constantly, making it a pain to kill them. Then you gotta add on their charge attack where they'll ram you until you get stuck in a corner and can't get out. The thing that worked the best for me is when they do these hyper beam attacks and beam you for like 10 seconds, just sit there and tank the hits while shooting into it, as each of the mouths are open, making them extremely easy to hit. These don't spawn at the same rate as the manglers do, but they're still a pain in the ass. But moving on from the enemy types, I wanted to address the entire HUD situation. If you follow COD Zombies, then you remember before launch it seemed like the whole community was in shambles, as we all were slandering the HUD and what it looked like. I made a video talking about Liberty Falls and some other things that I wanted to see within the game, and the HUD was one of my biggest issues. I was just hoping that it would get tweaked, and around that same time Treyarch announced that they were making some tweaks based on the feedback from the community. Thankfully, when the game released, the HUD actually looks pretty nice, but it's still not perfect. The devs did listen to my suggestion of adding a profile picture of your character or operator in the left corner, which I absolutely love, but I still think the health bar, shield, and money symbol looks a little off. On top of that, the way the gobblegums look could maybe be presented a bit better. Same thing goes for the lethals and tacticals. None of it looks really bad, it could just be tweaked a little. Personally, I didn't use the tweaks with the HUD much as I'm used to playing Cold War, so keeping it pretty much the same as that felt like a natural transition from before. The Black Ops 3 Legacy HUD is nice, but I needed a map, especially when learning where certain things are because we didn't have that back during the older days of zombies. So I appreciate the addition. Nonetheless, I think the HUD isn't perfect, but it's a lot better looking than it was when they first revealed it months ago. The augments is one area that I think is really good, but it's kinda hard to explain at first. If you didn't read any of the gameplay blogs that dropped over the summer, then more than likely you're gonna be confused. You'll see a whole bunch of perks, ammo mods, and field upgrades under augments, but don't understand how to unlock them or apply them. I just happened to play a couple games and then check back to see that they were slowly starting to fill up. Even still, I didn't know if this was because of experience, zombie kills, or something else. I just guessed experience and it ended up being right. To unlock each of the augments in the categories I mentioned, you just have to play the game and earn XP. And by researching an augment, you could start the track that would take the XP you earn and allocate it to that augment. For some reason, this is easy to understand, but hard to figure out at first. But when you finally get how this whole system works, you'll see that this is actually really cool. These different stat boosts or abilities tied to each perk, mod, or upgrade can change how you play the mode and what approach you take depending on what you're trying to accomplish. Like if you're trying to complete an Easter egg, more than likely you're going to want to equip the quick revive augment that gives you Dying Wish. It doesn't seem like anything special, but when you consider that you get the Dying Wish effect 3 times, stacked on top of a maximum of 3 self revives, this augment is almost essential for every player or the healers. Some examples are more simple, as certain augments increase max health when you have Jug, or boost sprint duration when you have Stamina. Regardless of what augment you choose, what I love is how it's all up to you. I'm one of those players that loves games where the emphasis is on player choice, giving you the option of how you want to play the game. Just because one person does something one way doesn't mean you have to do it the same way. Like there's always a different path to accomplish everything. Furthermore, this extends to the loadouts too. I loved how the entire loadout system feels in this compared to Cold War. Yes, it's still the same where you can craft a loadout and carry it with you into the game, but they added a new mechanic that changes everything, and that's called zombie builds. This little build feature is so small that you might miss it, but by simply creating a custom loadout and tapping a button, you'll apply a zombie build to your gun of choice. This means that this exact loadout can be brought into the game with you, bought off the wall, or pulled out of the mystery box. At first, I was like, man, who cares? It's not that cool. You can completely change your approach to different challenges or Easter egg runs by being able to get your loadout gun from off the wall or out of the box. In addition, it gives you the ability to do this for other weapons as well. Just being able to have these zombie builds on every weapon changes how and why you approach each match the way you do. However, it's worth noting that Mule Kick isn't in the game currently, so I hope it gets added in one of the DLCs soon, because having a third weapon would make this feature even better. Something that I was skeptical on was how the internet functionality would work with you needing to be connected to the internet at all times in order to play the game. What I noticed was that when my internet was good, which it is almost all the time, it felt like normal, no issues. However, when there was a little bit of lag on my end or something, the game started to stutter and freeze. And it's not subtle either. At times it can be really jarring and annoying and take you out of the entire gameplay experience. I would say make sure you have a good connection before even buying this game, because I can only imagine how bad this game would lag if you don't have good internet. But regarding zombies specifically, I think the save and quit feature is actually really convenient when it works. When going through a match, if you want to leave but return to where you were at that moment in the match, all you have to do is open the menu and hit save and quit. Then when you hop back on, you can pick up where you left off. A cool feature. Personally, I didn't think I was going to use this feature much, but once you realize how fast the 15-minute timer they added goes down, you're better off just saving and quitting whenever you need to step away for a bit. Leaving the game on isn't the best situation, especially if you're on the higher rounds. For someone who grew up playing the older iterations of zombies, it's definitely an adjustment, as I'm used to leaving the game on the pause screen and just walking away. But after a couple times of using this, you'll get used to it. But what's weird is that sometimes when you go to use it, you'll receive some message telling you that it's not available this time or something. This only happened to me a couple times, but I'm assuming this is a glitch or a bug or something, because you'd think you would be able to save and quit whenever. But who knows. Regardless, I found this whole feature the most useful when playing the newly released directed mode. This is the guided mode that dropped along with the first half of season 1 that is supposed to make things easier for newbies and casuals, so they can complete the Easter eggs. So using this feature when you're in the middle of an Easter egg quest will save you time and effort, but that's not even the best part. The best part is using this to grind camos and challenges. If you're going for the Nebula camos on any gun, you're going to need to get a bunch of critical kills with each one. To do this, which I think is the easiest way as of the time of when I'm recording this, is to hop on directed mode and just get headshots, as you can level up your gun to the max, but the round is capped to a maximum of 15. So getting critical kills or whatever is required is a walk in the park. But where the save and quit feature comes into play is when you're in the middle of getting a requirement but need to leave for whatever reason. If you save and quit when you have let's say 500 headshots left and your gun is Pack-a-Punch to the max of max rarity, now you can return to the game with that exact loadout and continue instead of having to replay those rounds and get your gun fully packed all over again. When you consider using the feature this way, you'll start to see its value. Hopefully it doesn't get patched, but I don't think it will, as stopping the ability to earn camos just because it's within an easy mode is kind of lame. But we'll have to see. What surprised me the most about the guided mode was that it didn't actually make the game easier, it just gives you the Easter egg steps. From my time playing it, it seems like the zombies do the same amount of damage from rounds 1 through 15 as they normally would. Same goes for the Terminus boss fight. The main difference is that mode itself is just easier because round 15 zombies are the toughest zombies you're gonna face. It's not like you gotta deal with round 30 plus zombies, it just changes things up a bit. But if you're trash at zombies, then you're still gonna struggle. I just gotta be honest. For me specifically, this mode is for nothing more than camo grinding and challenge grinding, but everyone has different skill levels, so I'm happy something exists for more casual players. Let's dive into the maps individually. First off, Liberty Falls. As I mentioned earlier, this map is the one that had the most controversy surrounding it, as people were saying it looks bad and it doesn't resemble something you'd find in zombies at all. And upon release, the reception was exactly as I predicted. All those people who were yapping about this map being trash were the same ones who ended up playing it anyways, because this game had so many players on launch versus the past Call of Duties. In addition, when you play the map, you'll realize that the reception this got was purely on Activision's marketing team. This map is clearly a bonus map with a small Easter egg quest included. If they would have led with this during the marketing campaign for this game, then the expectations wouldn't have been so high. But instead, they wanted to make the claim that this is a fully fledged zombies map, when in reality, it's not. If there was a map I could compare it to, it would be like the Giant from Black Ops 3, but with a main quest that has a bit more depth to it. When I actually was playing it, I was impressed by how much fun I was having. Everything on this map screams simplicity, as finding where each perk machine and where the Pack-a-Punch was extremely easy. Even the Easter egg itself is easy to complete, and that's without the guided mode. You literally open Pack-a-Punch, use the jet gun a few times, kill some zombies, place some canisters down, and then kill some more zombies. This map is the map I find myself returning to more as I try to get the camos and challenges done, just because of how easy it is. Having played zombies for years, I'm not surprised by how this map ended up turning out. The minority who hate the map are the ones with the loudest voices, because this map is not universally hated like it appeared to be before launch. In regards to Terminus, this map is exactly what you would think of when it comes to zombies. It's dark, ominous, and has a main Easter egg that is tricky the first couple times you go after it. On top of that, it has an absolutely sick boss fight that is challenging until you understand how it works. When you want to hop into zombies, this map will give you the experience that you're expecting. Even though the mode functions exactly the same, this map has a more frantic and hectic feel to it, making each round feel more difficult than it actually is. Add in the manglers, parasites, and amalgams, and this map gets crazy really fast. But what makes this map so great is that it all just works. The location is very wide and open, but still has tight corridors that can get you trapped, while still having enough freedom and exploration to give you the option to move somewhere else. Speaking of exploration, hopping on the boat and traveling to the distant islands turned out to be really fun. I know what you're thinking, hopping on a boat? Man, this shouldn't be in COD Zombies. But once you try it out, you'll see how fun it is. It's cool running from a horde of zombies, jumping in a boat, and then going to a different area to escape. Add on the fact that you have to use it to do some parts of the Easter egg, and this mechanic is one that was added into the gameplay pretty seamlessly. I didn't try to get it myself, but there's even a boat racing minigame to take advantage of the boats, which I thought was pretty cool. Unless I'm mistaken, this might have been the first time we've had a boss fight at the halfway point of an Easter egg. In other maps, we've had things happen in between and along the way to the final boss fight, but I don't think we've ever had a dedicated fight like the Nathan one. The first time I tried this, I actually got bodied because I didn't think he'd be so strong. Then once I got past it, seeing the cutscene really gave it an entirely different feel than Liberty Falls. Having moments like this is what makes zombies. Doing things to complete an Easter egg, fighting a boss midway through, only to have to do more stuff before fighting another boss, which ended up being fantastic. Fighting this giant kraken-like creature can be tough if you don't know what you're doing. And what makes it so fun is that you can't finesse the fight either and run in there with the weakest of weapons, because there's just too many zombies and the Kraken takes too much damage. Doing this with a group and coordinating who's going to do what and when is what makes it really fun and engaging. Like, you've always had to work together to do these eggs, but with a boss fight at this scale, there's a bit more coordination that needs to be involved or else someone's going to go down. I love this boss fight, and it's the main reason I go back and replay Terminus over and over. Finally, regarding the story, I liked how it picks up right after the events of Cold War, which made it really easy to follow. I'm still not the biggest fan of how Modern Warfare and Vanguard ties into the story too, but it's really not like they're absolutely necessary to know to follow along. It's still like, if you played the last Treyarch Zombies, then you'll know what's going on with this title. Even still, I hope that by the end of this game's cycle, that we're headed in a direction that makes it so we don't have to play every Call of Duty title to understand the story. Because I have no faith that the other two studios will do Zombies right, so I may have to watch the cutscenes for those games. Regardless, I'm excited for the new Zombies map that's going to release soon this month to see where the story goes from there and what new additions the game will receive. Overall, there's a lot to love about this iteration of Zombies. Is it the perfect version? No. Is it better than Black Ops 3 Zombies? Hell no. But it is very fun and one of, if not the best versions of the mode we've gotten in more than 6 years. Treyarch did a great job at combining the best elements of BO3 and what was already established in Cold War to make what's essentially a Cold War 2.0 version of Zombies. I think that many people, and sometimes myself, are afraid of change and innovation for specific modes or franchises, but when they turn out as good as this mode does, you can see it's well worth it. The mode still has some bugs and things that need fixed, but man, I truly believe this cycle of Zombies is going to be the best we've gotten in a long time. For those reasons, I'm going to give this mode an 8.5. Black Ops 6 Zombies sees the mode go back to what made it fun in the first place. Fun Easter eggs, more player and weapon customization options, along with a slew of other quality life changes. Yes, there are things that need to be fixed, and I don't know if we're ever going to get that feel of Zombies that we had during World at War to Black Ops 3. But as long as Treyarch keeps heading things in this direction, I'll gladly keep playing this mode throughout this season and the other games to come. If you played Black Ops 6 Zombies, what do you think about it? Let me know in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed this video, feel free to drop a like or subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.